Hi, 2O. I am back to share another story from my marvelous Munch book collection. Today's story that I'm sharing with you is actually a story that has been read to our class before by a mystery reader. If you remember, on Madeline's birthday, her uncle read this story, Moose. So since this story is in my collection, I just didn't want to skip over it. And it's such a cute story. It's worth reading twice, right? So here's the story of Moose by Robert Munch and illustrated by Michael Marchenko. And it's dedicated to someone by the name of Luke Van Zutphen in Cape Breton Island by Robert Munch. So we know that whoever gets the dedication gets to be the main character of the story. And then there's a really cool backstory to this book, which I love sharing with you. It's like become my favorite part. So enjoy Moose again. And thank you to Caitlin's uncle for sharing it for the first time with us. On Saturday morning, Luke woke up very, very early. He got dressed, ate a bowl of cereal, and went outside. There, standing by his treehouse, was a large, enormous moose. Luke looked at it and yelled, "Moose!" Then he ran around the yard 3 times and went inside to wake up his father. It's a big animal sitting in your backyard, boy. His father was asleep like this. Zzz, 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 zzz. He had been on the computer till 3 in the morning. Luke said very quietly, "Daddy." He didn't wake up. Luke said a little louder, "Daddy." He still didn't wake up. Luke yelled as loudly as he could, "Daddy!" He still didn't wake up, so Luke grabbed a pillow and whapped him on the head. His father jumped out of bed and yelled, "What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter?" Whap, 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 whap. I like when Robert Munch puts those words in. "Out by my treehouse," said Luke, "is a large, enormous moose." "That's crazy," said his father. "There's no moose out by your treehouse. Moose do not come anywhere near the farm." Still, he decided to go see what was going on. He got dressed, opened up the back door, stepped outside, rubbed his eyes until opened them up and yelled, "Moose!" That's a cute illustration of the moose. That frightened the moose, and it jumped right up in the air and came down on him. Luke's father said, "Quack." Luke said, "Daddy?" Luke decided to go get his mother. His mother was asleep like this. Zzz, 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 zzz. She had been watching TV till 3 in the morning. Luke said very quietly, "Mommy." She didn't wake up. Luke said a little louder, "Mommy." She still didn't wake up. Luke yelled as loudly as he could, "Mommy!" She still didn't wake up, so Luke took off his hat and whacked her on the head. His mother jumped out of bed and said, "What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter?" "Out by my treehouse," said Luke, "is a large, enormous moose." You might want to mention that the moose is sitting on his father. "Don't be ridiculous," said his mother. "There are no moose in our backyard. Moose do not come anywhere near the farm." Still, she decided to go see what was going on. She got dressed, opened up the back door, stepped outside, rubbed her eyes, opened them up, and yelled, "Moose!" That frightened the moose. It jumped right up in the air and came down on Luke's mother and came down on her. Luke's mother said, "Quack!" Luke said, "Mommy?" Luke wanted to get the moose off his mother. He sat down and thought for a while. Then he got an idea. He ran into the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and got out 3 big orange carrots. He held them out the door and said, "Here, Moosey, Moosey, Moosey." You can see the shadow of the moose, like it must be standing right in front of him. The moose came over and smelled 1 carrot. Sniff, 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 sniff. It ate the carrot. Crunch. Luke said, "I think I like this moose." The moose smelled another carrot. Sniff, 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 sniff. The moose ate the carrot. crunch. Luke said, I want to keep him for a pet. The moose smelled another carrot, sniff, 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 sniff. The moose ate the carrot, crunch. Luke said, he can live in my treehouse. Aw, now he likes the moose. Just then his mother lifted her head and said, Luke, get me a broom. Do you mean a little broom for shooing away birdies? Said Luke. No, said his mother. Do you mean a medium-sized broom for shooing away bunny rabbits? Said Luke. No, said his mother. Do you mean a large, enormous broom for shooing away cute moosies? Said Luke. Yes, said his mother. So Luke got the large, enormous broom for shooing away cute moosies and gave it to his mom. Oh boy. First, Luke's mother chased the moose around the yard. Then the moose chased Luke's mother around the yard. Then the moose ate the broom. This is not working, said Luke. Luke, said his father, get me a hose. Do you mean a little hose for chasing away birdies? Said Luke. No, said his father. Do you mean a medium-sized hose for chasing away bunny rabbits? Said Luke. No, said his father. Do you mean a large, enormous hose for chasing away cute moosies? Said Luke. Yes, said his father. So Luke got the large, enormous hose for chasing away cute moosies and gave it to his father. First, Luke's father chased the moose around the yard. Then the moose chased Luke's father around the yard. Then the moose took the hose and had a wonderful bath. This is not working, said Luke. But he's laughing. He thinks it's kind of funny. And so does the moose. Then Luke's 3 sisters came out of the house. Each one was holding a large, enormous squirt gun for squirting cute moosies. That will not work, said Luke. Moosies like water. Yes, it will. Yes, it will work, said his sisters. Watch. They walked into the middle of the yard and yelled, Hey, Moosie! The moose turned around, saw the squirt guns, and yelled, Hunters! That works, said Luke. Oh, the moose is scared. The moose ran into the kitchen, took some carrots out of the refrigerator, ran out the front door, and did not come back. See, said Luke's sisters. Then they squirted Luke. Skronk, 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 and went back inside. Luke said, that was a cute moose. It can still live in my treehouse. And he took the rest of the carrots out of the refrigerator and ran after it. And that's the story of Moose. And I'm going to share with you the backstory of Moose. Ready for it? Moose. I first told a version of this story in 1987 in Geraldton, Ontario. It became one of my favorite stories to tell, and it had lots of different versions. There was the Northern Ontario version where the animal is a moose and the kid wants to keep it for a pet. There was the Toronto version where the animal is a raccoon and the kid calls the police. There was the Inuit version where the animal is a caribou and the kid hunts and eats it. There was the Texas version where the animal is an armadillo and the kid wants to keep it for a pet. There was a Plains version where the animal was a buffalo, and so on. Whew. Robert Munsch had quite a few versions of this story. Finally, I came up with a version that is in the book. But this version of the story had no kid. Then I remembered Luke, who had sent me a wonderful letter about his treehouse, which was strangely not in a tree. The letter had photographs of Luke and his treehouse, and it was a perfect background for the moose story because they really are moose where he lives. I tracked down Luke's sister on Facebook and asked her to ask Luke if he wanted to be in a book. He did. So Daniel in Texas did not get in an armadillo story, and the Crockett family did not get into the Inuit caribou version, and no school class got the school class version, even though a lot of classes sent me illustrations. So take this story and make it your own version, because that is what I would do if I told it to you. So how fun is that? Take the story of Moose, make it your own version. However, what kind of animal would you make in the story, and what would you do with it? Keep it as a pet, or would you, try and shoo it away? That's actually a good Flipgrid someday. All right, Joe. I hope you enjoyed that story. Have a great Friday.